Have you noticed that humans refresh things even when absolutely nothing can possibly change? People refresh email, refresh weather apps, refresh social media, refresh news, refresh refrigerators, refresh life. Humans refresh everything. Someone checks Instagram, closes Instagram, waits 6 seconds, opens Instagram again. Like reality secretly hired workers to upload brand new content during those 6 seconds. Maybe a squirrel started a podcast. Maybe your old classmate suddenly bought a yacht. Maybe civilization collapsed while you were brushing your teeth. The brain says, check again. Humans obey immediately. Nobody even argues. Nobody stops and says, wait. I was literally here 8 seconds ago. No, humans press refresh with complete confidence. Like archaeologists discovering ancient treasure. Like secret agents opening classified files. Like astronauts searching for intelligent life, except they're just checking the same screen again. And again, and again. Humans do this everywhere. People walk to the refrigerator, open it, look inside, milk, eggs, ketchup, some mysterious container nobody wants to touch. People stare for 3 seconds. Close the door, walk away. 30 seconds later, they return. Open it again. Now listen carefully. Nothing changed. Nothing entered the refrigerator. Nobody delivered surprise pizza through invisible technology. No tiny workers arrived and installed new sandwiches. Reality remained exactly the same. But the brain whispers, maybe now? Humans somehow trust maybe now. Maybe now happiness arrived. Maybe now life feels different. Maybe now excitement finally appeared. Maybe now the universe fixed itself. Humans keep checking reality like people repeatedly pressing elevator buttons. Have you noticed that? People press the elevator button once, then immediately press it again. And again, like the elevator suddenly says, oh wow, they seem serious. I should move faster. Humans behave like they are negotiating with machines. People push crosswalk buttons 17 times. People click websites repeatedly. People press remote controls harder when batteries are dying. Like extra violence creates extra electricity. Somewhere right now, somebody is aggressively clicking a TV remote while making the face of a disappointed scientist. Humans become strange when waiting is involved. Waiting transforms normal people into confused creatures. 5 seconds feels normal. 10 seconds feels suspicious. 15 seconds feels like betrayal. Humans stare at loading circles like detectives solving crimes. What is it doing? Where did it go? Why is it thinking? Thinking? People talk about computers like nervous employees. The website froze. Come on, buddy. You can do this. Humans encourage machines more than themselves. Nobody wakes up saying, come on, buddy. You can do this. People wake up and immediately attack themselves. I'm tired. I look terrible. My life is going nowhere. Meanwhile, the internet takes for extra seconds to load and suddenly people become supportive parents. It's okay, website. Take your time. We believe in you. Humans are weird. But maybe the weirdest thing isn't refreshing screens. Maybe it's refreshing life itself, because humans do that too. Every day. Without noticing. Humans refresh life in strange ways. People stand near windows and stare outside for absolutely no reason. You know that moment. You walk to the window, look outside. A car passes, a bird exists, some guy walks a dog. Then you leave. 10 minutes later you return. Look outside again. Why? What exactly are humans expecting? Breaking news? A parade! A dinosaur. Maybe the brain secretly thinks reality updates every few minutes. Maybe somewhere inside every human mind lives a tiny employee wearing headphones. And that employee keeps shouting, check outside. Something important might be happening. Humans listen immediately. People refresh life through phones too. Someone unlocks their phone. Looks at notifications. Nothing. Locks phone. 3 seconds later, unlock notifications. Nothing. Lock, repeat, repeat. Repeat. At some point, humans stop checking information. They start checking hope. That is different. Very different. Because nobody opens email thinking, I wonder if somebody sent me a spreadsheet. No, people secretly think. Maybe something exciting happened. Maybe somebody texted. Maybe somebody remembered them. Maybe something changed. Maybe today finally became different from yesterday. Humans refresh life because people love surprise. People love possibility, even tiny possibility, especially tiny possibility. Think about slot machines. People pull a lever, nothing, pull again, nothing, again. Again. Humans somehow become optimistic after losing 20 times, the brain says. The next one feels important. Why? Nobody knows. Brains are strange little gamblers. But humans don't only gamble with money, humans gamble with tomorrow. People say, tomorrow will be better. Then tomorrow arrives. And people immediately say, maybe tomorrow. Then tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month becomes next year. Humans keep refreshing the future, waiting for a better version to load. Waiting for confidence, waiting for motivation, waiting for happiness, waiting for life version 2.0, like some giant invisible progress bar exists in the sky. Loading, please wait. And maybe that is why people sometimes feel tired without understanding why. Because waiting is exhausting, especially when you don't realize you're waiting. Maybe people aren't tired from work. Maybe people aren't tired from responsibilities. Maybe people become tired from quietly expecting reality to suddenly become different. Because imagine standing in front of a broken website all day. Refresh, nothing, refresh, nothing, refresh, nothing. Eventually, people stop feeling curious. They start feeling empty. And maybe stupid people don't refresh life because they're stupid. Maybe humans refresh life because somewhere deep inside they still believe good things can suddenly appear. Maybe people keep opening refrigerators because hope is weird. Maybe people keep checking phones because hope is weird. Maybe people keep looking outside windows because hope is weird. Hope makes people do strange things, beautiful things, ridiculous things, human things. Because somewhere right now, somebody is checking their phone again. Not because anything changed. Just because a tiny voice inside their head quietly whispered, maybe now, and honestly, maybe that's not stupidity after all. What if happiness keeps missing your calls on purpose? I have a strange theory. What if happiness is not lost? What if it is not hiding? What if it is not located on a beach in Greece, inside a mountain cabin, or somewhere between a promotion and a better mattress? What if happiness knows exactly where you are? What if it sees your calls every single day? And what if it keeps pressing decline, not because it dislikes you, not because it is busy, not because it changed its number, but because every conversation always goes the same way? Imagine happiness answering the phone. Hello? Hi, is this happiness? Yes? Great, I'll call back when everything is finally under control. Click, that would get old very quickly. Maybe happiness has heard that conversation millions of times. People spend years preparing for a life they never actually arrive in. As children, we wanted to become adults. As teenagers, we wanted to finish school. As students, we wanted a job. As employees, we wanted a better job. Then we wanted more money. Then a bigger apartment. Then a nicer neighborhood. Then a newer car. Then a better version of the newer car. At some point, people start upgrading things that were already upgrades. The strange part is that every upgrade comes with the exact same promise. This one will do it. This one is the missing piece. This one is finally enough. Then 6 months later, it becomes normal. Human beings are probably the only creatures capable of getting bored with things they once prayed for. A dog receives food and reacts like it won the lottery. A human receives something they dreamed about for 5 years and says, interesting. Then they open a spreadsheet. Maybe happiness keeps missing our calls because we keep treating it like a destination. We act as if happiness is waiting behind a specific door. The problem is that every time we open a door, we discover another hallway. Life is full of hallways. Entire industries exist because of hallways. Advertising is basically a professional hallway designer. A commercial never says, you already have enough. Imagine that a man appears on television. He looks directly into the camera. He says, honestly, your current life seems fine. Then the commercial ends. That company would be bankrupt before lunch. The modern economy runs on a very simple idea. Someone must always feel one step away from becoming complete. Complete people are terrible customers. Imagine walking into a store and saying, no thanks. I already feel fulfilled. Security would escort you out because you are clearly behaving suspiciously. Sometimes I wonder if happiness stopped answering because we only call when something is wrong. Nobody phones happiness on a random Tuesday. Nobody says, hello happiness. Nothing special happened today. I just wanted you to know that lunch was pretty good. No, people usually call happiness the same way people call emergency services. Something happened. Something is missing. Something went wrong. Maybe happiness is sitting somewhere with its friends. Maybe confidence is there. Maybe peace of mind is there. Maybe contentment is there. And happiness says, I don't know what to do anymore. Every time they call me, they already decided I live somewhere else. The others nod. Confidence takes a sip of coffee. Peace of mind stares out the window. Contentment quietly eats a sandwich because contentment is always eating a sandwich. Then happiness checks its voicemail. Hi, it's me again. I think I'll finally be happy after summer. Delete. Hi, it's me. Maybe after I lose 10 pounds, delete. Hi, it's me. Maybe after I make more money, delete. Hi, it's me. Maybe after I find the right relationship. Delete. Years pass. The messages become more complicated. Hi, it's me. I found the relationship. Turns out I need a bigger apartment. Delete. Hi, it's me. I got the apartment. Turns out I need a different career. Delete. Hi, it's me. I changed careers. Turns out I need inner peace. Delete. At some point, happiness probably stops checking voicemail. Can you blame it? Humans are fascinating. We can transform almost anything into a problem. You could place a person inside a beautiful garden, birds singing, sunlight everywhere, fresh air, flowers, and within 10 minutes the person says, I wonder if there is a better garden. That thought alone has probably powered civilization for thousands of years. It built cities. It created technology. It sent people into space. But it also created a strange side effect. Nobody knows when to stop looking. The search becomes permanent. People begin searching for things they already possess. Someone says, I just want peace. Meanwhile, they are standing peacefully in their kitchen holding coffee. Someone says, I wish life would slow down. Then they spend 3 hours scrolling through videos at double speed. Someone says, I miss the present moment, while actively ignoring the present moment. Human beings are incredibly talented. Not always in useful ways. One day I realized something strange. The happiest moments in my life usually arrived without permission. They never appeared on a schedule. They never announced themselves. There was no email, no countdown, no notification, no loading screen. They simply happened, a conversation, a joke, a sunset, a random afternoon, a memory that seemed ordinary at the time. Looking back, many of the moments I spent chasing happiness are not the moments I actually remember. The things I remember are weirdly small: a road trip, a stupid laugh, a meal with friends, a rainy day, a moment that nobody would have considered important, which makes me suspicious. What if happiness prefers disguises? What if happiness never arrives dressed as success? What if it shows up wearing sweatpants? What if happiness is not the grand finale? What if it is the background character that keeps getting edited out of the movie because we are too busy looking at the main plot? That would explain a lot. Because most people are not waiting for happiness. They are waiting for permission. Permission to relax. Permission to enjoy life. Permission to stop comparing themselves to strangers. Permission to admit that maybe this moment is enough. The strange thing is that nobody seems qualified to grant that permission. Everyone is waiting for someone else. Meanwhile, life keeps moving. Not quickly. Not slowly, just steadily. Like a cashier scanning items while customers argue about which line is faster. And perhaps happiness keeps missing our calls because every time it tries to visit, we are busy preparing for a future meeting with it. Maybe that is the biggest misunderstanding of all. People think happiness lives in the future. The future has incredible marketing. The future always sounds amazing. Future you wakes up early. Future you exercises. Future you drinks enough water. Future you reads books. Future you understands taxes. Future you finally answers emails. Future you somehow becomes the kind of person who enjoys kale. Current you does not trust that version at all, but still believes in him. Every year millions of people hand responsibility to future you. Future you is the hardest working employee in human history. Current you keeps assigning projects. Future you keeps receiving them. Nothing is ever completed. Imagine being future you. You finally arrive. You open the door. A mountain of unfinished plans falls directly on your head. Future you never asked for this. Future you is basically a storage unit for abandoned optimism. Maybe happiness keeps missing our calls because it knows we are talking to the wrong person. We keep negotiating with future you. Meanwhile, present you is standing right there. Ignored like the middle child of time. Nobody asks present you what he wants. Everybody asks future you. People spend years building a perfect future and accidentally forget to attend their own lives. Which is strange because eventually the future arrives. Then instantly becomes the present. Then immediately gets ignored again. Human beings treat time like a customer service representative. We spend all day asking for another department. Can you transfer me to next year? Can you transfer me to a better version of myself? Can you transfer me to the part where everything finally makes sense? The line disconnects. The line always disconnects. Nobody reaches that department. One thing I noticed about happiness is that it never appears during comparison. Never comparison. Is like happiness repellent. The moment you compare your life to someone else's life, happiness quietly climbs out the nearest window. Social media turned comparison into a professional sport. Thousands of people wake up every morning and immediately compare their behind-the-scenes footage to someone else's movie trailer. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted. Imagine comparing a normal Tuesday to a highlight reel. That is like comparing a sandwich to fireworks. Of course, the sandwich loses. But sandwiches were never designed to compete with fireworks. Neither was real life. Real life is mostly sandwiches. That is not a bad thing. In fact, most good lives are surprisingly sandwich-shaped. Simple, ordinary, quiet. Unfortunately, ordinary has terrible public relations. Nobody posts. Today was acceptable. Nobody uploads. Nothing dramatic happened, and honestly, I am grateful. No, everything must be extraordinary. Everything must be life-changing. Everything must become content. Somewhere along the way, people stopped collecting moments and started collecting evidence. Evidence that they were happy. Evidence that they were successful. Evidence that their life mattered. The strange thing is that happiness rarely enjoys being photographed. The moment people notice happiness, they often interrupt it. Imagine laughing with friends. Everybody is having fun. Then someone says, "Wait, we need a picture." The conversation stops. Everyone freezes. The moment becomes a document. The happiness survives. But it changes shape. Maybe happiness keeps missing our calls because every time it arrives, we immediately start measuring it. How happy am I? Am I happy enough? Should I be happier? Other people seem happier. Can happiness be upgraded? That sounds ridiculous. Yet millions of people do exactly that. Imagine ordering ice cream. The ice cream arrives. Instead of eating it, you spend 20 minutes wondering if another flavor would have made you happier. Eventually, the ice cream melts. Now nobody is happy. Life contains a surprising number of melted ice cream situations. Another strange thing about happiness is that it appears to have terrible timing. You want it during important moments. Big moments. Historic moments. But happiness often shows up during completely random situations. You are folding laundry. Suddenly happy. You are driving home. Suddenly happy. You are making coffee. Suddenly happy. You are walking somewhere. Suddenly happy. This is extremely inconvenient for people who prefer schedules. Happiness refuses to cooperate. Maybe that is why so many people struggle to find it. They keep searching in places where it never agreed to be. A lot of people treat happiness like a reward. Work hard first, suffer first, worry first. Then happiness. But what if happiness was never supposed to be the reward? What if it was supposed to help during the process? That would change everything. Imagine refusing to drink water until after finishing a marathon. That seems ridiculous. Yet many people do something similar emotionally. They postpone joy, postpone gratitude, postpone peace. Postpone life itself, always waiting, always preparing, always arriving somewhere that immediately becomes another departure point. The modern world is full of people standing in airports that exist only inside their minds. Nobody stays. Everybody is boarding something. A goal, a plan, a dream, a new version of themselves. Meanwhile, the current version keeps standing at the gate holding all the luggage. Maybe happiness keeps missing our calls because it already left several messages. Maybe we just never listened. Maybe happiness was the conversation that made you laugh so hard you forgot your own point. Maybe happiness was the meal you barely remember because you were busy checking notifications. Maybe happiness was the weekend you spent planning the next weekend. Maybe happiness was the ordinary day you called boring. Years later, that same day becomes one of your favorite memories. Life is full of moments that become valuable only after they expire, which is an absolutely ridiculous system. Imagine buying milk that becomes delicious after it expires. Nobody would accept that, yet memory works exactly that way. A random Tuesday from 10 years ago can suddenly become priceless. Not because it was extraordinary, because it was yours. And perhaps happiness understands something that we don't. Perhaps happiness knows that life is mostly made from ordinary days. Not milestone days, not trophy days, not victory days. Ordinary days. And if you cannot find happiness there, you probably won't find it anywhere else. Because eventually every extraordinary moment becomes an ordinary memory. Every finish line becomes a starting line. Every achievement becomes normal. Every dream becomes reality. Then reality becomes routine. Then routine becomes invisible. Humans have an incredible ability to stop seeing things that are already theirs. Maybe happiness keeps missing our calls because it is tired of being treated like a visitor. Maybe it has been living in the house the entire time. Maybe we are the ones who keep leaving. Sometimes I think refrigerators are tiny casinos built for stupid people. Not because refrigerators are stupid, refrigerators are innocent. They just sit there all day doing refrigerator things, working hard, keeping cheese alive, protecting orange juice, holding leftover pizza together like an emotional support system. No, the stupid part is us. Because every human on Earth has done this. You walk into the kitchen, not because you're hungry, not because you need food, not because your body sent an official request. You just appear there. Like your feet accepted a mission without informing your brain. You stop in front of the fridge, and for a few seconds you stare at the door, like you're standing in front of an ancient temple. Like behind that white door lives the answer to every problem you've ever had. Maybe today is different, maybe life changed. Maybe reality accidentally updated itself. You open it, slowly, like a man opening a treasure chest at the bottom of the ocean, and inside. The same yogurt, the same eggs. The same half-empty bottle of ketchup. The same vegetables that started life with big dreams. And then something strange happens. You stand there and stare. You don't immediately close it. No, you inspect the situation. Like a detective arriving at a crime scene. Interesting, very interesting. The cheese appears unchanged. Milk still exists. Nothing suspicious. No pizza activity. No cake movement. No emergency chocolate event. You nod, close the fridge. Walk away. 10 seconds later, your brain suddenly returns wearing sunglasses and a leather jacket. Let's go back. Excuse me. Go back where? The fridge. Why? We might have missed something. Missed what? A sandwich secretly entering the building. A taco delivery team hiding behind the orange juice. A tiny chef working overtime. What exactly are we expecting? Because apparently every human secretly believes refrigerators work like slot machines. Maybe this time. Maybe this poll changes everything. You open it again. Same yogurt, same eggs, same ketchup. You stare harder now, like effort changes reality. Like if you focus long enough, the fridge gets nervous. Maybe that's why people lean forward. Have you noticed that? People always lean forward. As if moving your face 3 inches closer suddenly reveals hidden content. Like somewhere behind the vegetables there is a secret level. Maybe cake was there all along. Maybe happiness was hiding behind mustard. Maybe there is a tiny note saying, "Congratulations. You have unlocked a better life." Nothing, still nothing. Then you close the fridge with disappointment. Not normal disappointment, personal disappointment. Like the fridge betrayed you, like you trusted it. Like the fridge looked directly into your eyes and promised, "I got you." Then did absolutely nothing. Humans are weird, because we do this everywhere. Not just kitchens, we do this with life. Every day we open reality expecting surprise rewards. Monday morning. Nothing changed Tuesday. Still nothing Wednesday. Interesting. Still the same stuff Thursday. You start looking around suspiciously. Maybe you're using life incorrectly. Maybe everyone else got the premium version. Maybe everybody secretly received extra features. Because social media makes it look like that. Jake is hiking in mountains. Emma is smiling on a beach. Some guy named Ryan bought a house at 24. Another guy is drinking coffee in Italy for absolutely no reason. Meanwhile, you're sitting at home eating cereal at 11 p.m. wondering why your entire existence feels like loading screen music, and suddenly your own life starts looking suspicious. Because online everyone appears to be winning something. People post happiness like it's a daily achievement. New car, new relationship, new apartment, new adventure. Meanwhile, you successfully folded laundry after staring at it for 3 days. No picture for that. Nobody uploads. Look, everybody. I finally answered an email from last week. Nobody posts. Big day today. I moved a chair and called it productivity. Nobody uploads. I spent 40 minutes searching for my phone while using my phone flashlight, but those moments are real. Those moments are human. Those moments are most of life. I think stupid people believe happiness arrives with fireworks. Like one day a truck suddenly stops outside your house. A man jumps out wearing a suit. He opens a golden suitcase. Inside is happiness. He says, "Congratulations. You've been selected." Then everybody claps. Music starts playing. Birds appear for absolutely no reason. Even your neighbors start crying. But real life never works like that. Real life quietly enters the room wearing sweatpants. Real life sits next to you on the couch. Real life steals some of your fries. Real life says, "Hey, this isn't amazing, but it's not terrible either." And humans hate that. Because humans love big moments. Humans love giant changes. Humans want movie scenes. Nobody wants regular Tuesday happiness. Nobody wants good coffee, funny conversation, warm blanket, no stress, quiet evening. Because those things feel too small. But maybe we're wrong. Maybe happiness isn't hiding somewhere behind success. Maybe happiness isn't hiding behind money. Maybe happiness isn't even hiding behind the orange juice. Maybe stupid people keep opening the fridge because deep down they believe the next opening changes everything. And maybe we spend our whole lives doing exactly the same thing, waiting for reality to suddenly become someone else. Maybe that's why people keep saying things like, "My real life starts next year." Next year. Really? Humans say that like next year arrives wearing sunglasses and carrying wisdom. Like January 1st walks through your front door and says, "Good evening, everyone. I fixed your personality." People treat the future like a magical customer support department. "My current life has several problems." "No worries, sir. When can I expect solutions?" Approximately tomorrow. Tomorrow is the biggest scam ever created. Tomorrow has incredible marketing. Tomorrow promises everything. Tomorrow says, "You'll wake up early." Tomorrow says, "You'll drink more water." Tomorrow says, "You'll exercise." Tomorrow says, "You'll stop overthinking." Tomorrow says, "You'll become a completely different human." Tomorrow sounds amazing. Tomorrow sounds responsible. Tomorrow sounds organized. Tomorrow probably owns folders. Tomorrow definitely has color-coded calendars. Tomorrow remembers birthdays. Tomorrow has matching socks. Meanwhile, today is sitting in the corner eating cereal directly from the box. Today forgot where the car keys are. Today opened Instagram for 5 minutes and somehow lost 47 minutes. Today said, "I'll sleep early tonight." Then suddenly started watching a video called "The Secret Life of Penguins" at 2:14 in the morning. Humans always think future versions of themselves are smarter. But why? Future you is literally just current you wearing different clothes. That's it. Future you isn't some powerful wizard. Future you isn't floating above mountains learning ancient wisdom. Future you isn't training with monks. Future you is just you. Future you still forgets passwords. Future you still opens the fridge for emotional reasons. Future you still stands in the kitchen thinking, "I know there is nothing inside." But maybe that word destroys humanity. Maybe is dangerous. Because maybe can convince people of anything. Maybe I should check the fridge again. Maybe someone texted me. Maybe I should refresh my email. Maybe I should open social media. Maybe I missed something important. Humans refresh reality constantly. Like we're pressing invisible buttons all day. Refresh, refresh. Refresh, nothing. Refresh, still nothing. Refresh, interesting, still the same life. I saw a guy once staring into his refrigerator like he was expecting answers. Not food, answers. He stood there completely frozen. Milk on the left, juice on the right. Vegetables somewhere in the background fighting for survival. And he looked confused, not hungry confused. Existential confused. Like somewhere between the eggs and the ketchup, he accidentally started questioning his purpose on Earth. Honestly, I understand him. Because people don't just stare into refrigerators. People stare into everything. People stare into mirrors. People stare out of windows. People stare at their phones. People stare at the ceiling before sleeping. Humans spend huge parts of life staring at objects while thinking about completely different things. Your body is here, but your brain left 20 minutes ago. Your brain is weird. Your brain randomly remembers things. You're peacefully taking a shower. Everything feels normal. Then suddenly your brain appears wearing running shoes and says, "Hey, remember that embarrassing thing from 7 years ago?" No, absolutely not. We're showering. Leave. But the brain doesn't leave. The brain sits down, crosses its legs, starts a presentation. Welcome, everybody. Today we revisit terrible memories. Slide 1, that awkward conversation in high school. Slide 2, that weird thing you said at work. Slide 3, something you did at age 11. Now you're standing under warm water fighting ghosts from 2014. Humans are ridiculous. We fight imaginary arguments. We replay old moments. We prepare speeches for conversations that never happen. People walk around cleaning kitchens while winning fake debates. Jake from accounting has absolutely no idea he's losing an argument inside your head. Meanwhile, you're destroying him. Perfect points, perfect timing, perfect comeback. Crowd cheering, background music playing, Oscar nomination incoming. Then reality returns, and suddenly you're holding a sponge. Standing next to dirty dishes. Alone. I think stupid people secretly believe happiness arrives after everything becomes perfect. After enough money, after enough success, after enough confidence, after enough self-improvement videos, after enough productivity, after enough everything. Like happiness is sitting behind a finish line saying, "Almost there, but what if happiness isn't waiting at the end? What if happiness keeps passing us while we're busy checking whether something better is coming?" Maybe that's the strange thing about humans. We keep standing in front of life exactly the same way we stand in front refrigerators. We open, look around, feel disappointed, close, wait 10 minutes, come back, open again. Imagine explaining this behavior to aliens. So let me understand this correctly. You repeatedly open a cold food box even though you already know what's inside? Correct. And you somehow expect different results? Correct. And you do something similar with your entire existence? Correct. Honestly, humans sound ridiculous. But maybe that's because humans run on hope. Hope is weird. Hope makes people buy lottery tickets. Hope makes people text, "You awake?" At 2:37 in the morning, hope makes people click. I agree to terms and conditions without reading a single word. Hope makes people start diets on Monday. Hope makes people think, "This time I'll only watch one episode." Nobody in history has watched only one episode. Nobody! The person who invented that sentence should be investigated. Because everybody knows how it goes. You sit down. One episode, very simple. 40 minutes later, interesting, another one. Then suddenly sunlight enters the room. Birds are singing, construction workers are outside. People are driving to work. And you're sitting on the couch looking like a survivor from a natural disaster. Your blanket somehow became clothing. Your eyes are dry. Your posture looks illegal, and your brain still says, "One more." Human beings are amazing. Not because we're smart, because we're strange. We know things and still ignore them. We know sleeping at 3 in the morning is a terrible idea. We do it anyway. We know checking our phones every 2 minutes changes absolutely nothing. We still check. We know opening refrigerators doesn't magically create pizza. And still, there we are, opening, looking, hoping, because humans don't actually search for food. Not always. Sometimes humans search for surprise. Sometimes humans search for change. Sometimes humans search for proof that life moved while they weren't paying attention. Maybe that's why people refresh social media every 5 minutes. Maybe that's why people keep checking notifications. Maybe that's why people stare at phones like archaeologists searching for ancient secrets. People don't really want information. People want interruption. People want reality to suddenly tap them on the shoulder and say, "Good news! Everything is different now." But reality rarely does that. Reality usually enters quietly. No dramatic music, no fireworks, no giant announcements, no mysterious man with a suitcase full of happiness, just small things. Tiny things. Things so small people ignore them. Coffee tasting good, laughing unexpectedly. Hearing your favorite song in a grocery store, finding money inside an old jacket, canceling plans and suddenly feeling powerful. Taking off uncomfortable shoes after a long day, warm blankets, cold pillows, extra fries at the bottom of the bag. People love giant happiness. But life mostly sends tiny happiness. Tiny happiness keeps arriving every day. Humans just keep staring at giant empty spaces waiting for something enormous. I think stupid people believe happiness changes life. Maybe happiness was never supposed to change life. Maybe happiness just visits life. Like a strange little animal, shows up for 5 minutes, steals a French fry, looks around, leaves. And maybe that's okay, because imagine permanent happiness. Imagine waking up every day screaming, woo-woo, for absolutely no reason. You walk into grocery stores crying with joy. Cashiers become terrified. You hug mailboxes. You high-five trees. Neighbors slowly stop making eye contact. No, that sounds exhausting. Maybe happiness was never designed to stay forever. Maybe happiness works more like background music. You don't always notice it, but when it disappears, something feels strange. And maybe stupid people keep opening refrigerators because deep down we all believe the next moment might contain something better. Maybe that's why we keep trying. Maybe that's why we keep hoping. Maybe that's why after disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, humans still get up, still move forward. Still laugh, still love, still believe tomorrow can be different. Because somewhere inside every person lives a tiny idiot wearing sunglasses and holding lottery tickets. And every morning that tiny idiot smiles and says, "Let's open it one more time." And honestly, maybe that little idiot is the reason we keep going. Have you noticed that people talk about Monday like it personally offended their family? Not like a normal day. Not like Tuesday, not like Thursday. Nobody wakes up and says, "Thursday ruined my life." Nobody stares at the ceiling and whispers, "I can't do this. It's Wednesday again." No. People act like Monday climbed through their bedroom window at night and stole happiness directly from their soul. Monday has somehow become a movie villain, a silent one. The kind that walks slowly for no reason. People see Monday on the calendar and immediately become detectives. What did I do? Why is this happening to me? Who sent this? Imagine explaining this to aliens. Humans fear the first day after the weekend. The aliens would probably say, "Why?" And humans would stand there in complete silence because nobody actually knows. People just accepted it. People inherited hatred for Monday like old furniture. Nobody remembers where it came from. Nobody remembers who started it. One person probably woke up 50 years ago and said, "I don't feel amazing today." And humanity collectively said, "Monday." Now millions of people participate every week. Sunday night arrives and something strange happens. People suddenly become dramatic philosophers. At 7 p.m. people are eating pizza, watching television, laughing, living peacefully. At 9 p.m. something changes. You can almost feel it. The room feels different. The air feels heavier. People slowly look toward the clock like doctors discovering bad news. 9:43 p.m. Then the brain starts speaking. Oh no, it's coming. Coming. What is coming? A tax collector. A tornado. A shark with office paperwork. No, Monday. A normal day. 24 hours. Exactly the same size as every other day. Monday isn't even longer. Scientists never discovered hidden Monday hours. Monday does not secretly contain 72 minutes inside every hour. Monday isn't hiding extra suffering in a backpack. But humans react like national emergencies are happening. You see people online saying, "Monday attacked me again? Again?" Like Monday waits behind buildings? Like Monday jumps out wearing sunglasses? Like Monday whispers, "Thought you escaped." Humans are weird because people don't hate Monday itself. People hate the end of freedom, that tiny feeling that says, "The fun part is over." And suddenly adults become children again. You can see it. Kids don't want school. Adults don't want work. Everybody just wants one more day. One more movie. One more nap. One more hour. One more moment where responsibilities stay outside the room. Maybe that's why people stay awake till late on Sunday. Have you noticed that? People suddenly become time criminals. Someone says, "I should sleep." and immediately starts another episode. Another video, another snack, another random internet search. 3 hours later, why am I learning how penguins sleep? Nobody knows. The brain knows tomorrow exists. The brain knows work exists. The brain knows responsibilities exist. But another part of the brain suddenly appears and says, interesting, let's make terrible decisions. Maybe every human brain contains two roommates. One roommate pays bills. The other roommate eats cereal at midnight and buys things online. And somehow the second roommate always wins. Always, the responsible roommate says, we need sleep, the other roommate says. What if we watch videos about abandoned shopping malls? And suddenly it's to 14 a.m. Humans lose arguments against themselves every day. Every single day. Maybe Monday became famous because humans need something to blame. Humans love blaming things. Traffic, weather, Wi-Fi, printers, especially printers. Printers wake up every morning and choose violence. People press print once. Nothing happens. People press print again. Nothing happens. Then suddenly 37 pages appear at the exact moment nobody wants them. Printers behave like confused ghosts pretending to work. But Monday became the greatest suspect of all time because Monday cannot defend itself. Imagine Monday speaking. Monday would probably say, leave me alone. I literally arrive every 7 days. I have followed the same schedule for thousands of years. This sounds like your problem, and Monday would honestly have a point. Because imagine Friday behaving exactly like Monday. Same 24 hours, same clocks, same sun, same planet. But people suddenly smile. People wake up and become motivational speakers. Friday enters the room and everybody acts like celebrities arrived. People suddenly say things like, we made it. Made what? You were alive on Thursday too. But brains are strange. Brains are tiny movie directors. They create stories around ordinary things. Monday became the villain. Friday became the hero. Sunday became the emotional ending scene where everybody secretly cries inside. Humans attached emotions to calendar squares. Think about that. Tiny boxes with numbers somehow control moods. A rectangle on a screen says Monday and millions of people immediately lose energy. That is incredible. Imagine if bananas had this power. Someone walks into a kitchen, looks at fruit, falls to their knees. No, it's banana day again. Humans would create support groups. Monday support group meeting, room 7, coffee and sadness provided. People sit in circles. One person stands up. Hello everyone, last Monday hurt me. Everybody nods slowly. Another person wipes away tears. Monday looked at me. Humans would absolutely do this. Because people turn small things into emotional weather systems. Sometimes brains create storms from tiny clouds. And maybe that's what Monday really is. Not an attack, not a villain. Not a monster hiding behind Sunday night. Just a mirror. Monday quietly arrives and asks one strange question. Do you actually like the life you're returning to? Maybe that's why people get uncomfortable. Because if somebody loves what they do, Monday feels different. Not perfect, not magical, not fireworks and dancing dolphins. But different. Meanwhile, other people spend Sunday night feeling like prisoners hearing footsteps. Waiting, watching time disappear. Watching 8 p.m. become 9 p.m. Watching 9 p.m. become 10 p.m. Watching 10 p.m. become panic. Because humans sometimes live for tiny islands, weekend, vacation, Friday night. And then spend the rest of life swimming toward them. Maybe that is why Monday feels heavy? Not because Monday attacks people. Maybe because people accidentally build lives they constantly want to escape from. And that sounds bigger than Monday, way bigger. Because imagine spending years waiting for Friday, then months waiting for vacation, then years waiting for retirement. Humans become professional waiters, not restaurant waiters. Life waiters. Always waiting for the next thing. Waiting for happiness, waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for some mysterious future version of life. And suddenly one day people look around and realize something weird. They spent years standing in line for a place they never entered. Maybe stupid people don't believe Monday is a personal attack. Maybe humans just blame Monday because it's easier than asking harder questions. Questions like, why am I always waiting? Why do small moments feel better than normal life? Why does freedom sometimes only appear on weekends? Because the truth is uncomfortable, Monday never attacked anybody. Monday just knocked on the door. The brain did everything else. And somewhere right now, somebody is opening the refrigerator for the 4th time tonight. Not because they're hungry, just checking whether reality finally changed again.